Hello, everybody. What's up? Olale, Obidia from Nigeria. Welcome. I love Nigerian names. Tassin, welcome. Hey, everybody. I feel like it's been a while since I've done one of these, so it's great to see everybody in chat. Hey, everybody. And I'm looking at this camera, but my camera is broken for some reason, so I have to look down now. So you get the top-down look. What's up, Jake from Singapore? Daniel from Norway. Kathleen, hello. Stroke of midnight. Jake, thanks for coming in all the way from Singapore so late. I'm coming in. It's not early, really, but it feels early. Jimmy, what's up? Osborne from Ghana. Alif, am I good? I think I'm good. I'm good. The chat definitely gives me the energy. I did not have much sleep last night. Sometimes when you sleep and you wake up and your brain thinks like, oh, I can write this bit of code, then you just don't go back to sleep. So that's how it works. Pranav, welcome. Chris from Wales, love it. Pravin from India, welcome. Buttery Gold, great name. Mohammed, welcome. Indonesia, awesome. KL17003. John from Ghana, welcome everybody. Okay. This definitely brings up the energy. I was a little sleepy this morning, but we are doing some Laravel. Samuel, welcome. We are doing some Laravel. So if you have used Laravel, Carl from the Philippines, hey, I'm Filipino. Marija, hello. Welcome from Diversity Nepal. Gosh, I could do this all day, huh? Welcome, everybody. So today we are going to be building with Laravel. And if you are a PHP developer or if you like Laravel, shout out Laravel in the comments. PHP just formed their PHP collective to fund the future of PHP. And PHP has, I was actually surprised that there wasn't already a PHP collective because I feel like they've done a great job at bringing PHP into the modern age. Naples, Pasquale, what's up? Massachusetts, Kathleen, welcome. I guess I should tell you all where I'm coming in from since you're all sharing. I am coming in from Las Vegas, Nevada, the city that has all the casinos, the pyramid, all the stuff. I guess the answers to the questions you may already have. No, I don't live in one of the casinos. I was born and raised here, so I did run through the casinos a lot. But we have more than casinos. We have a lot of food. We have a lot of dining and great outdoors, if you can imagine. Mohammed, what's up? All right, we're about to get started, everyone. I know this is great for everybody. This is great for me. I'm having this. I'm enjoying this. Cool. So what I think we're going to build today is we're going to build it from scratch with Laravel. We're going to see how far we can get. And I'm thinking kind of like a Twitter-ish clone that you can post your tweets, you can share your thoughts, and then it builds out a stream of tweets. And this one won't show ads, so don't worry about ads in this one. I'm still kind of irked about that Twitter blue asking for money and still showing ads. But all right, let's go. Let's get started. What's up? Thanks everyone for joining chat. I will keep monitoring chat, and we have our backstage fantastic person also monitoring chat. So let's get to it. Here we have Laravel, and one of the cool things about Laravel is you can deploy it to DigitalOcean really quickly. We have a product called App Platform, so you can add Laravel to a GitHub repo and deploy that immediately. But what we're going to do today is we're going to build with Laravel. And if you haven't built with Laravel, I think it's a fantastic framework for building out anything really quickly also. For, I guess, some background, I built a company on Laravel, Scotch.io, website tutorials, and we built it up to about 4 million page views per month. So Laravel can handle the scale, if that's what you're wondering. Jimmy B says that's why we got to use another Twitter client. Yes, let's make it here. Let's see how far we can get. And maybe, you can start a side project and if you want to build something like what we're going to build today. So let me clear everything out. Let me just make sure I have my database cleared. Okay, let me delete that. Okay, so what I have here is a brand new Laravel application. Let me zoom in for you all. Brand new Laravel application. And if you're wondering how I built this, I used Laravel's installer. I went to iTerm, and from in here, I put everything in a Batcave folder. I did Laravel new, and then I built out my app, which is Laravel Twitter, is what I called it. So I did that. It spins up a brand new, like, let's show you here. So it spins up a brand new Laravel project, nice scaffolding, just like you'd expect from anything like modern development these days. So that went ahead, did everything, generated everything, and that's essentially what we have right here. So I want to show you what starting a Laravel application looks like. And this is going to be your folder structure. Also, if you have any questions, post them in chat. We are monitoring. I can answer through increments in the stream here. And then also, this recording will be on the YouTube channel, DigitalOcean's YouTube channel. And while we're doing that, if you are interested and like what's happening, could you hit the like and subscribe down below? It lets us and YouTube know that we're doing good stuff. All right, so Laravel is a full stack framework, so it can do the back end for you, but more than that, it can also do the front end for you as well. So that's why you'll see under resources, there's CSS, JavaScript, and your views. So it can do the back end and the front end. And let me show you what this app looks like in browser. I'm going to spread this to the left here. I'm going to bring this out to the right, and I put it under Laravel Twitter.test. So this is the standard starting point for a Laravel application. I keep looking at this camera. I got to look down here. And what this is under your routes. This is going to be the starting point for any Laravel application, and really any application. You want to start at your routes, and then your routes dictate what is shown to your users, right? So there's an API routes file, channels, console, and web. And we want the web one to start out with. Okay. So we want the web routes. And if we scroll down here, route get / return the view welcome. And we could do any sort of processing here. Go get information from a database. We could go get information from a third-party API. And then to return stuff, we would just return message is, hey there, Avnish. So if we go back here and we refresh, nothing really happens because we didn't really use anything. We didn't change anything. So if we go down to this welcome folder file, and I go over here, and that'll be under resources, views, welcome. And you'll see here that there's auth, components, and layouts. So you can start forming your UI as you would if you were a React developer or Vue developer. Everyone's kind of centering around this idea of components. And I think it's a good one because we're able to compose our UI using multiple components, and that makes us flexible. So if I go into welcome.blade, it already has some Tailwind added to it. Let's go into this body tag right here, and I'm going to, actually, let's go right here, and I'll expand outward, select everything, delete everything, body, and then we'll say hi, or let's do an H1 and say my message is, hope that's zoomed in enough. And then you use this right here, double brackets is how we're going to show information in a Blade template. And I'm going to go over here, refresh. And my data that came from the back end, which is our route, got added to our front end, which is a blade.php file. And Blade is Laravel's templating language. It's similar to what you'd expect from a templating language. It has all the things like interpolation, displaying data. It has all the things like doing a for each and all that good stuff. Avnish, it's using Tailwind. I like it already. Yes, Tailwind actually, I believe, came out of the Laravel ecosystem. Laravel does a fantastic job at promoting ideas as far as building applications as simply and as elegantly as possible. And Adam Wathan came from this ecosystem. He actually started with Laravel courses and building out Laravel courses. And then he learned a little bit more, made Tailwind. A lot of good stuff came out of here. Alpine.js came out of the Tailwind community. Richard says you can switch out to Bootstrap easily. Yes, you can switch out to any CSS framework. If I scroll up here, there's normalize. Where is Tailwind? Tailwind has to be somewhere in here. Did I delete Tailwind? I don't know where it went, but it looks like they're actually all embedded in line right here. That's what it is. Cool. All right. So what we want to build today is we want to build a Twitter-ish clone. So I don't really like doing ugly demos. So real quick, I'm going to take a step back and we're going to build out the UI for it. And it shouldn't take too long with Tailwind. I'm a big fan of Tailwind. Let's go to tailwindcss.com. And let's go to get started. And if you haven't used Tailwind, don't worry about it. We're just going to go through it really quickly. I think it's a really fun way to build out your UIs, installation. And then I'm going to go down here and get the CDN version. So I'm just going to copy this link tag. And I'm going to go back to Laravel. But while we're here, there is an install guide for Laravel and Tailwind. So I'm just going to go back here. I am going to delete all of this stuff right here. And add that in. We'll add Tailwind is our comment. And I hope that's still large enough. So hard doing these streams and zooming in. Okay, so let's drop this one as well. All right, bare bones as we can get. All right, so let's start this out. Class, let's go for background. Maybe blue at, I think 800 should do the trick. 900 maybe. So let's do 900. Let's go for padding. Top is going to be 20. And let's go for inside here. We're going to say div class is going to be max width at 5XL. MX is auto. And I'm making a container for all this stuff real quick. And let's say the text is going to be blue at maybe 100. All right. Avnish, why didn't I install instead? Good question about Tailwind. I wanted to do it as quickly as possible so we could get more to the Tailwind stuff. If you did want to install it, you could go through the docs. There is a package.json down here where you can install it and do all that good stuff. But this is the easiest, and I think it's fine for this demo. Let's go back and see how we're doing. Cool. All right, so we have this right here. And let's go ahead and build out a little bit more of our UI. So we're going to want a form to create a tweet. And we're going to want to list all our tweets. So we're just going to say div form goes here. And div list of tweets go here. Mohammed, absolutely. This will be on the DigitalOcean YouTube channel. Which you are on, possibly. You could be on Twitch also. Or LinkedIn or Facebook. So many streaming platforms. All right, so let's go take a look, refresh. Form goes here, list of tweets go here. I want to start off with the list of tweets. And this is going to be the bread and butter of any application. We're going to handle CRUD, which is create, read, update, and delete. And all of that good stuff is going to happen pretty quickly. So you can build out a CRUD API. You can build out a CRUD application. And if you think about it, every application is a CRUD application. We're really creating tweets, reading tweets, or bringing them out of the database. We're updating. Never mind, Twitter doesn't have an edit button. And then deleting tweets. So let me go to web.php. And when you are building out your CRUD APIs, this is what it kind of looks like. So you're going to have route get tweets, and this will be a function. And then we're going to have, so let's create our comments. I like doing the comments first. So get all tweets. We're going to have create a tweet. Or actually, this should be show the form to create a tweet. Or we could embed that in here, but I want to keep it there for now. Show the form to create a tweet. We are going to create a tweet, update a tweet, and delete a tweet. And you could replace tweet with literally any other resource that you have in your applications. It can be blog posts, it can be videos, it can be products in a shop. Perfect. So show the form to create a tweet. You can do route get create tweet. Maybe that's what you want to name your route. And then create a tweet. This should also be like handle the form for creating a tweet. This would be a route post. And we could just do it to create tweet function and handle all that. Then down here for updated tweet, we would do a route put update tweet. And I know you're probably asking, Chris, why are you using HTTP verbs and then also putting it in the URL for the route? You're right. That should technically be tweets. Should be tweets. This is the, I guess, the more accepted way of building out your HTTP REST APIs is using the HTTP verb. So this is get. Post is for creating a resource. Put or patch is for updating a resource. And then deleting a resource would be route delete tweets. But we would also need the tweet ID. So it would be like tweet ID. So this would be put tweets, tweet ID. I believe that's the way to do it in Laravel, right? Laravel. Sometimes when you work between JavaScript and Next.js and Vue and Strappy, you start to mix in your syntaxes. I did it wrong. It is this, curlies. Sorry for that, folks. Okay. Now we can update a tweet and then we pass it in like this, tweet ID. Tweet ID. And then now we can go into our database and we can delete something from our database. We can update something in our database, create, show the form, and get all tweets. So that's the foundation of a CRUD application. Are there any questions on that? Let me pull up my chat again. I guess this is more of the conceptual side of building out a CRUD app. Sweet, I love it. A lot of Tailwind stuff in the chat. Awesome. Maybe we'll do a Tailwind thing. I'd love Tailwind. Okay. So get all tweets. So you are writing these by hand, and this is just done so I could conceptually show you all of the different things that we need to install or all the different routes we need to have. And if you wanted, you could even show the routes like this. Oh, come here. PHP Artisan route list. And if it wasn't so crunched up, it would be a nice table that would show you all of the different routes. This is get tweets, post tweets, put tweets. So you can start to see the layout of your application right in here. But I want to show you a cool way to do all of this without needing to write all that out by hand. So once we need tweets, we need to know that our database is holding tweets. So let's do something real quick. I'm going to create what's called a model and a migration. And let me talk to you about what that is. PHP Artisan, make model. And Laravel comes with this tool called Artisan that helps us scaffold and build out these really cool things very quickly. So PHP Artisan make model, and I'm going to say tweet, and then I'm going to do -m so we can build out what's called a migration. So this step right here, we are preparing our database for our CRUD application. So we created a model and we created a migration. So what that did for us is if I go over here, we have a database, migrations, create tweet. And what this does is it creates a table in our database. So I'm going to add table string body to this. And basically I'm saying the body of the tweet. Actually, let's call it text. No, I like body actually. Okay. So basically what we're saying is that every tweet is going to have a body, and that is where we're going to store our message. All right. And now let's go look at our PHP model, app, models, tweet. Let me go grab something real quick. And we have to define in here as well what we're going to use inside of this tweet. And we're going to say public fillable is equal to body. So we have defined a tweet. We have defined the migration to create the tweets table in our database. Let me delete that, close that. And then I am going to make sure that we have our database set up. So we are opening our .env for Laravel, and check this out. There are so many different things Laravel can do for us. We have our app configuration stuff here. We have logs. We have our database connection, which you can switch this out from MySQL, Postgres. Here we're going to use SQLite because working locally, SQLite I think is as quickly as we can do it locally. And there's a lot of other things that Laravel can configure for you and that you don't have to do yourself, which is really nice. All right, now that we have our database set up, I am going to create a database, new file, database.sqlite. Just bear with me here. All of these steps are going to make sense really soon. Basically, we're going to go into our Artisan tool again, PHP Artisan migrate. And what this command does is it preps our database for all the things we just did. We added a tweets table, and that should migrate this create tweets table down here. And all of this stuff is default for Laravel. It created a users table. It created a password resets table, failed jobs, personal access tokens. So out of the box, Laravel already has some good authentication. Cool. Just checking out chat real quick. Hope everyone's doing cool. Let's see. Let me catch up on some chat. Yes, the video will be hosted here on YouTube. Thanks, Jimmy. Baruz, what's up? Good to see you again. Session and cookie and Laravel. Yes, we'll talk about that in a second. All right. So we migrated our table. You might be wondering, all right, Chris, did we migrate our table? I have a tool right here called SQL Pro for SQLite. And what I have here is I opened up that file and we have our information here. And here is our tweets table. And if I go into the data for our tweets table, we can see, where did you go? Uh-oh. I'm not seeing our body property on there. Let's see, where did we go wrong? All right, welcome to live coding, everybody. So if I'm not seeing it here in our table, all right, let's go look. So that should be in our migrations, create tweets. We have table string is body, and that should have worked. So let me just see what happens. Let me go PHP Artisan, migrate, reset. So it rolled back all of our migrations. Let's go check out our database again. It should be, let's see, it doesn't look like it destroyed the database. I was testing earlier. I think that may be the issue. Migrate, reset. All right, hold on here. All right, so we want PHP Artisan. Welcome to live coding, everyone. Migrate, refresh is the one we want. So that will roll back all of our migrations, rerun everything, and hopefully, what is happening here? All right, well, let's do the easiest way to delete a database, delete, which I thought we did, right? All right, so new file, database.sqlite. All right, so we have a blank database right here. Now let's do a PHP Artisan, migrate. Actually, let's check SQL Pro. Still tables in our database, which there shouldn't be. Something's a little wonky right now. SQL Pro. Sorry, everyone. Okay, so Laravel, Twitter, database.sqlite, empty table. I'm hoping that everything worked fine. It was just SQLite Pro was not showing the correct data. Golly. Okay, PHP Artisan migrate. Check it out. This is what an SQLite file database looks like in VS Code. And now we have everything as we should. Here's our tweets, data. We have a body again. I think it was SQL Pro. I don't think it was Laravel. That's on me. Sorry, everyone. Come on, Chris. Okay, so let's see if we can add a new record here. This is my first tweet. Let's add a new one. Hey, everyone. Look at us go. Am I tweeting right? All right, so let's leave those there. Jimmy B says Table Plus is awesome. 3N7 Ropey is correct. It was cached. Thanks, Richard. Yeah, everyone's saying I had the wrong database open. Thank you, everyone, for Migrate Fresh. I should have just checked the chat first, huh? All right, well, here we are. We have our tweets open. We have our tweets in our database. So let's go and see if we can't get those tweets out of the database. I'm going to go right here and let's go get information from a database. Sure, let's say tweets is equal to. All right, thanks, GitHub Copilot. So when you're importing things like this inside of Laravel, just like you would in your JavaScript stuff, just like in most languages, you want to import what you're using. So we're going to say use app models tweet. And then down here now, we can say tweet all is the tweets that we got. And now we can pass that through as tweets. Or sorry, tweets. So we got information from a database. We're sending that to the front end. Let's go to the front end. Let's loop over it. List of tweets go here. We're going to say for each. Golly, I am mixing up all of my syntaxes all the time now. Is it tweet in tweet, tweet of tweets? I'm losing it. Tweet tweets, gosh, tweets as tweet. And I should have just listened to GitHub Copilot. It gave me the entire thing that we needed. Cool. So let's do that. And for each, we don't have tweet user name. We do have tweet body. It gave us a border bottom and a border blue. So we'll just let Copilot do its thing. Let's go check it out. There we go. Our tweets are coming from our database and they're showing up here. Not as pretty as the Twitter UI, but it works. Cool. All right. So we were able to get some stuff from our database and display it. So let's go a little bit further. We want to create a form to process creating a new tweet. We're able to display tweets, but now we have no way to create new ones. So let's go ahead and create a form. Let's create a form. Jimmy says easy peasy. Avnish, the issue was going to be SQL Pro. So the app we were using to look at the database was not refreshing correctly. So we're going to say form. We're going to do an input. Type is text. Gosh, look at GitHub Copilot just giving us all our code. Type is text. Name is tweet. And this is the important one. Name is tweet. And then we're going to have a button. Or type is submit. And we're going to say tweet. Now we got to point our form to the correct spot. So we're going to say form action is going to be / tweets and method is going to be post. So in our web.php, let's make sure we have that route. Post tweets function like this. And we are going to say, let's go get that data. I'm going to pass in the request here. And we're going to say request. How are we going here? Sorry, everyone. I am super not sure where did my notes go. All right, so my syntax is all wrong. Yes, Galang says, make sure to add CSRF. You are correct. So here we need to make sure that our form, Laravel protects us with CSRF tokens, cross-site request forgery, CSRF. And that's a way that our front end can talk to our back end and make sure that there is nothing funky going on. Is it input all? I always forget now. So let's see what's coming out of there. I'm going to use DD, which is a Laravel helper, to send stuff to dump information out. All right. Let's go double check everything. Form goes here. Let's refresh our form. Is this going to work? Wow, look at that text. We'll fix that. And if I click tweet, it sends it there. Too many arguments. It tells us where the error is. So that's nice. So Laravel does a really good job at these errors. Exactly one expected. Let's see. Okay. So what I want to do here is, I think it's my request. DD, hi. Make sure this one works. You submit the form. Doesn't work. Okay. Request all. Thank you. But our request isn't getting sent through. And that's okay. So the thing with this is I'm writing all of these by hand. I want to show you a cooler way to do all this. So right now we have everything right here. I want to show you a way that we can just create all of the 5 routes that we talked about earlier and do it with one route. And we'll say route controller, and we will pass this through as route resource, actually. Resource is going to be tweets, and we're going to say tweets controller class. And the way that we're going to do that is we're going to first create this tweet controller, and that will hold all of the routes that we just talked about. So we're thinking about it differently. We're moving a little bit of the routes out of this routes file and moving it into a controller so that it can have a little bit more logic and we're not mucking up this one file with all of our logic there. So I'm going to create a new controller. I'm going to say PHP Artisan make controller, tweet controller. We're going to say you are going to be a resource route, and I'll show you what that looks like. And then we're going to say model is tweet. So we want to bind it to that model that we just created. So in this way, Laravel is really good at creating a controller that is tied to the database, that has all the routes it needs. And let me go show you what that looks like. Let's go into app, HTTP controllers, tweet controller. And now check these out. It has index, which is the main route, it has create, it has store, it has show, it has edit, update, and destroy, which are all of the routes that we expected for a CRUD application. Chris Bowen, yes, that's what I thought it was. And luckily, we'll have it here. Okay, so let's do this now. Index. Let's fill this in. We're going to tweets is equal to tweet all, and then we're going to return view welcome tweets. And let's make sure we imported tweet. I believe it does already automatically. Okay, so that is showing all of the tweets. Let's just run through this list and try to handle it. Create. Show the form for creating a new resources. We don't have this because we put the form directly in the page right here. So we don't need this one. And if we go down, store, this is the one we wanted to do. We have data is equal to request. Let's say all. We'll just pull the information out. But if you wanted, you could validate it. And that was going to be body. But for now, we're not going to validate it. We're just going to leave it in. Just make sure that it works, right? Request all. And then we are going to say tweet create data. And then we are going to return a redirect back to the home page. Fyros is waiting for the controller. Everybody's been waiting for the controller. The controller is like one of the cornerstones of Laravel, and it does a great job because it pulls all your logic into one spot, makes it easy. Show a tweet. We can tweet is equal to tweet find tweet ID, and then we can return tweets.show. In this case, we aren't going to really have this route because we have everything on one single route. But if you had a URL that was like tweets/tweet ID, then this is what you would use. Galang says we missed create. Yep. Let's do it anyway. Return view tweets.create. So we're going through listing everything that we need. Return a redirect to the home page. Show the tweets.show component or the file, the blade file. Edit. We are going to tweet update. And let's get our data is equal to. I'm surprised it didn't push the request through here. Oh, this shows the form to edit. Okay, sorry. So this should be return view tweets.edit, and then it passes in the tweet. So this would show the form to edit. Down here, update, we are going to say data is equal to request.all, and then we're going to tweet update that data, and then we're going to return a redirect back to maybe you would do tweets to the ID that you just did. So you would do like, is it plus in PHP? Gosh, period in PHP. Too much time in JavaScript. Okay, so there's update and destroy. We got tweet, delete, and then you would return a redirect back to the homepage or all of the tweets. So we are building this out, but what we essentially did is we were able to build a CRUD application in one controller, and we can do all of that through our controller. And now let's go just see everything working. Let's go over here to web.php. Let's bring back our tweet controller. So now everything points to that, and I want to just show you that that's working. Laravel apps, Laravel Twitter. We bring this up. PHP Artisan route list, and I know it's small. Oh, something happened. Tweet controller does not exist. We need to import that here. Use app HTTP controller tweet controller. All right, let's double check that our thing is working. PHP Artisan route list. There we go. So with that route tweet controller thing, it has created the get tweets, post tweets, tweets create, tweets tweet, tweet tweet, tweet tweet, tweet edit, all the things that we did earlier, but all of it automatically done for us thanks to our controller. So let's wire up our front end for this new backend. And if we go over here, this goes to action tweets, method post, type as text, name, that should actually be body. And then submit. So all of this form is going to post to tweets, and then that should be handled under tweets store. So data request all, tweet, create data, return, redirect, and then that redirect should send us back, and then that should show the new tweet. So let's make sure this works. I don't know why text just black. Okay. All right, so refresh. Hey there, Khalid and Galang. I'll click this tweet button. And there we go. So it actually did it really quickly. It went to our database. It redirected us back to the homepage, and it showed it because it pulled new stuff out of the database. And if we open up SQL Pro, there it is in our database. Galang says controller resources are cool stuff in Laravel. And yes, they are. So this resource can handle the storage now. It can handle showing a single tweet if we wanted that. It can handle editing a tweet down here with the update. So let's see if we can actually wire up this update thing. I think that'd be fun. Let's do a feature that Twitter has never had. Let me style out this class name, that's React. Class is going to be equal to, let's go for background yellow at 300. Text is going to be gray at 800, so darker. We're going to go padding Y of maybe 3, padding X of 6. We're going to say text, and let's go for rounded full. And then one thing I want is this form. We're going to go class is margin bottom of 20. Okay, so that looks a little better, I guess. Inputs, class, let's go for margin bottom on the input of maybe 4. All right, that's not the worst. Jaimin says, which font am I using? I believe I'm using Cascadia Code, or that might be Operator Mono. One of the two. They're my two favorites. All right, let's wire up these edit buttons. So right now, each tweet we're looping over and we're displaying a form, or sorry, a div. Let's go ahead and display a form. We are going to change this to now be an input. Input type is text. Value is equal to that. Button, let's say edit. Type is submit here. Look how easy this could be for Twitter to just add an edit button. And then we're going to say action is equal to / tweets / tweet ID. And then we'll add the CSRF. And here's something I want you to note is that we wanted our tweet controller. This update is going to be a put request. So HTML forms by default do not have the ability to do a put request. This is method equals post is what HTML forms can do. But Laravel has a way of saying method is going to be so you can spoof the form and tell Laravel, hey, this is actually a put request. All right, so this actually needs to be named as body. And I believe that's everything we need to wire this up. Let me add a class is going to be flex space x is 2. Let's add some classes to this input. Class is going to be background white, padding y of 2, padding x of 4, rounded full. Let's add some classes to the button. Class is equal to background blue at 300. Text is blue at 900. Padding y of 3, padding x of 4, rounded full again. And let's see how this works out. And then we need text color here. Text is going to be just black. All right, so we have our tweets, and obviously the UI could use some work, but let me change this out to, hey there, let's say king, and let me get this one right, 3 and 7. Is that supposed to be entropy? That's cool. All right, so let's click edit here. Okay, so what that did was we have an error here, tweets.show not found. Let's go back here, tweet controller. The update worked, and let's make sure the update worked. Yep, so right there, it persisted to our database. But if we go over here, we redirected the person back to tweet ID, and we didn't really fill that out because that route is this one right here. And we never created this view file. So instead of all that, let's just send them back to the home page. And now you start to see this like connection between the front end to the back end to the database. Sorry, I'm looking at this camera. Front end, back end to the database, and then back to the front end by way of a redirect. Okay, so let's go back here. Let's go back to the home page. That should show our new tweet. Yep. Let me see if I can get this to be full width. Width is full. Does that work? Haha, okay. All right, am I tweeting right? Let's change this to what's up, Michael and Avnish. I'll click edit there. And look how fast that happened. It happened, it sent it to the database, it redirected us back, and it persisted to the database right there. Cool. Yeah, I got way too many cameras. Let me turn this one off, move it up so I don't look at it anymore. I'm having fun today, guys. Thanks everybody for joining. This is fantastic. Thanks everyone for your help in chat. Always fantastic to have you all here. All right, so how are we doing on time? 10 minutes left. I can't believe that happened so fast. So a couple things I want to point out. Tweet controllers are kind of a backbone of Laravel to be able to do all of this information in one file. But I want to show you something else. I want to show you, this is how you build out a front-end CRUD application. Let's say we wanted to build out a back-end application and just build the API, so not the view layer. So let's say you are liking React, Vue, Angular on the front end, and you just want a back-end API. Let Let me show you what that looks like. PHP Artisan make controller. And I don't want to use tweet controller again. So let's call it like post controller, or you could call it like API post controller. I'm going to say dash dash API dash dash model is going to be tweet. That makes no sense. So let's just bring it back to tweet API controller, and I'll press enter there. And now if we go over to our controllers, tweet API controller, this one is a little different. It's very similar, but let me show you the differences. It has index, it has store, it has show, update, and destroy. So it got rid of two methods that we didn't need. And the two that it got rid of were create, which is this one, which is showing the view. And it got rid of edit, which is also just showing the form to edit the resource. So now here, instead of saying tweets is equal to tweet all, instead of returning a view for, let's say, tweets or tweets.index or tweets.all, whatever you want to name your files, you are just going to return tweets. And what's cool about this is that Laravel will go ahead and say, oh, you're returning an array. I'm going to type hint it as JSON data. So now if I go back to web.php, Temitope, yes, how time flies. Instead of tweet controller, I'm going to say tweet API controller. I'm going to copy this and import it right here. Now, instead of going to this, if I go to /tweets, it returns JSON data. So now we've built a JSON API, JSON. I said it two different ways in 5 seconds. Now we have built a JSON API pretty quickly using the same database, the same tweet model, but doing it a little differently how we return it in the controller. And this would be the same. You would request data is equal to request all, tweet create data, and then, well, we would do like this, tweet is equal to, and then we would return the brand new tweet. So now you have a backend API that you can send information to from React using your JavaScript fetch, all that good stuff. Let's see, let's show this one. Well, we already have the tweet because Laravel is smart enough to say, oh, you want a tweet? Let me go get it from the database. And then you just return the tweet. So let's see if this one works. Let's go grab an ID. I got 4 is an ID right here. Let's go over here. Tweets/4. And there it goes. It returns a single item from our database. And it uses the route right there. JSON is equal to JSON. Jason. Please don't get mad at me in Twitter. Cool. How are we doing on time, everybody? All right, 8:54. Where does time go? I feel like that one went really quickly. But hopefully you kind of saw the foundations of how Laravel can help us build CRUD applications and APIs. We didn't even get into some of the other stuff like, let me show you Laravel Breeze. We've got some time. And now that we're coming up to the end of this, if you want, throw your other questions in chat. Maybe you haven't had a chance to ask questions. Go ahead and throw them in chat. So let me show you how you can quickly add authentication to Laravel. They have a tool called Laravel Breeze, which is one of their starter kits. I'm going to go down here and just run through this real quick. So I'm going to composer, require, Laravel Breeze. I'm going to go down here, PHP Artisan Breeze install. npm install. npm run dev. We'll let this one run. Galang, good question. PHP Artisan migrate, the final part of this installation, nothing to migrate. Okay, so if we go back to our application now and we go to /register, Laravel built out this whole admin login form for us, our registration here. And I'm going to register Chris C. Savaleja at DigitalOcean.com. Come on, .com, password, and I'll click register. And now we have the ability to log in. And Galang asked about session and cookie. If I inspect, go to application, and let's go to local storage. Nothing in local storage. Let's go to my cookies. Laravel session is right there. So this is how Laravel persists your authentication state, is using this Laravel session cookie. And then it goes to the backend, and your backend will be able to show you who the logged in user is. So once we go here, Laravel tweets is undefined. Let me see if I can fix that really quick. Let's go to web.php. Oh, I see what happened. Okay, so let's delete tweets from here. So let's delete all of the stuff that we just did. Come here. Delete that real quick. Our form can stay. And then check this out. Using Blade, Laravel's templating language, I can say auth user and just save that. Now that we're logged in, we have the ability to grab the user object from our templates. So now you can, show that in your headers. You can maybe put that in your form so you can show your face like they do on Twitter, showing the face right there. So all that good stuff. And this only touches the surface of Laravel, even though we did a lot. We built a CRUD application and an API in an hour. There's a lot more to Laravel. Temitope, yes, you are correct. There's more on Laravel. Can we expect more? Yes, absolutely. I'm a big fan of Laravel. I think we can build out, now that we've seen more of the foundation, we can build out larger applications, maybe actually build an authenticated Twitter where you can, create tweets and see other users' tweets. What we can also do is maybe share and deploy this online to DigitalOcean's app platform. And once we put it live, all of you all in chat can go log in and mess around with it as well, so we can kind of see it live happening. Cool. Let me bring chat up. Also, if you do find this interesting, you can find me on Twitter, Chris__SEV. And let's see, let's throw this up here. And yeah, we're coming up on time. So let's wrap it up. Deploy it now. Thanks, Chris, for all the help in chat for all your stuff. Jimmy, building an API with Strappy. Yes, our next one is going to switch over to the Node.js. What camera am I looking at? Node.js side of things. We're going to use Strappy to build out. We're going to use Strappy to build out a Node API. So you'll see very similar to what we did today, but Nodes side of things, and it has a fancy UI. So it's even, I would say, even easier than what we did today. Elena, you're very welcome. Thank you for joining. Zion, DO customer for years. Thanks. $100 credit. Let's see. Yeah. Well, Buttery Gold, thanks for joining. Strappy reminds me of Next. Strappy is very cool. It has a great way to build out APIs. And I think Laravel also has a really cool tool. Oh, I hope I can remember it. Laravel Beyond Code. Laravel has, there's a company out there called Beyond Code. They make a lot of great packages for Laravel. Invoker, that's the one. So everything that we did today in code, Invoker lets you do by kind of just clicking and dragging around in a dashboard. So you can build out your database, build out your API, see your database, all that good stuff inside of a tool like this. And this is what Strappy does. So that's what we're going to look at. Let me go back to our chat. Where's our chat? You're welcome, everyone. Samit Galang says we need part 2. Yes. Strappy accepting images. Yeah, we can do that. Tristan, Alvin, we ran out of time today, but really quickly, if I go to DO, go to login, wait. This is my DO logged in one. All the different Chrome profiles and tabs and all the things. So if I log in here, I can go to apps. And let me show you how to deploy what we just did. We won't have time because we're coming up on time, but I can go to create app right here. And I can click GitHub right here. And now you can just search for the GitHub repo and click deploy. And that'll get you the job done. So like Laravel, I think I have one. Guestbook Laravel is like a sample I did a while ago. You can deploy from a branch. You can have it auto deploy on code pushes. So a lot easier than setting it up manually on a droplet. It says PHP is detected. It'll tell you what command to run. You can run your build commands, environment variables, add all that stuff. You can even add a database, which is really nice. Like what we just did was SQLite, but you can have a dev database, which is Postgres, or you can use one of the ones you created on DigitalOcean. And I have all of these here. And then you can go ahead and deploy. And yeah, that's how easy it is to deploy from a GitHub repo. Samit from Thailand. Turmeric Sabin. Hope I said anything close, but welcome from Nigeria. Cool. Temitope, welcome. Recorded video will live here on the DigitalOcean YouTube channel. If you did enjoy this, please like and subscribe. It does actually let YouTube know that DigitalOcean and myself are doing pretty good stuff. So appreciate you all. Is there any GUI to create model controller view with complete? Yeah, that's invoker.dev, the thing we kind of just looked at. Invoker.dev is the website. From Kenya, awesome. Welcome. And thanks for being here. I shouldn't say welcome. I should say goodbye soon. Brian, thank you for being here. Naruto from India. Cool. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining the chat as well. Keeping the energy up. It does help me out. Gives me the energy to keep going. Appreciate you all. Thank you for joining. I hope you learned something today, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.